Hey, thank you for coming by Tory Magoo 44. Today is the 7th of February 2015. First of all, I want to thank every single person who's been a part of my YouTube site. We now have, I have 17,000 subscribers, which I cannot thank all of you enough who've helped pass on my link. I really appreciate that. And I think it's 4 million views, which doesn't sound like a ton, but it is a bunch. It's over 4 million for someone like me who's done most of my videos by myself in my bedroom. It's not because I only want to talk to me. I don't. I'd love to interview other people, but I've yet to learn exactly how to do it. So if anyone wants to teach me, please, my phone number is already up on the internet. Please call me. Please teach me, because I would love to interview other people. I think it would be interesting for you guys, and it would be fun. And my view is the more people that interview these people, the better. It isn't like, oh, someone's already interviewed them. I don't think so. I think every single person might bring out something else in another person. It's like people that we see that get interviewed all the time. You know, it's never like, oh, I know what Clint Eastwood's going to say. Not that we're in that category. We're not. But it's still, I still think every single person has something that they might be able to bring out. So there you go on that. So if you know how to, call me and let me know. I would appreciate it. Okay, so there you go on that. This is a video on, first of all, I want Mr. Anonymous to say hello. This is Mr. Anonymous, who I got in Norway. There you go. He's Norwegian.
Hello.
And he's my buddy. Andreas Heldelin was the first person who actually helped me kind of wake up and escape out of the Church of Scientology in 2000. And a couple of years later, I went to Norway to meet Andreas, and I got Mr. Anonymous. So he's kind of an international celebrity himself. Anyway, thank you to every single one of you who has helped me with my YouTube site, who has commented, who has passed on my links. I greatly appreciate it, and so does every single other person. Many people who are now out of the Church of Scientology. Yes. Okay, so my goal with my YouTube site is to help expose the abuses of the Church of Scientology. They are now trying to spread that they are civil rights protectors. And I want you to know the facts about Scientology and civil rights, okay? These are their abuses for civil rights. Number one, they intentionally break up families. They will say, no way, we're for families. Families are our thing. They are their thing as long as you stay in the Scientology Truman Show. But the second you do something that is not okay, or you talk to someone, they declare you what they call a suppressive person. There's my SP declare. They actually did this. They didn't do any. When you're in the Truman Show of Scientology, they have all kinds of different things that they're supposed to do before you're declared suppressive. Go to ethics, have these, investigations, committee of evidence, all this other stuff. They didn't do anything. They didn't even talk to me. They just declared me suppressive. Boom, that's it. Mark Bunker put up the video Magoo dancing in Boston, which you can Google. That was my very first video. I'd only been out 2 weeks, and boom, they declared me right after that. No talking, no communication, nothing. It was amazing. Okay, so they break up families that way because you're not allowed to talk to a person once they're declared suppressive. If you do, you'll be declared, and you'll lose all your friends. So people generally side with, okay, I won't talk to them. I don't want to lose all my friends and my family, right? And there's tons of people that are not even really part of the Church of Scientology anymore, but they don't want to say anything because if they do, they're going to lose all their family and friends. So they're out. They've never done any services. You can always tell by when was the last time you did your services. And Scientology is now trying to rope them to get back in so that they did some kind of a course so they can say they're really Scientologists. No, they're not, Miss Gabbard. You can pretend all you want, but your buildings are empty. All right, and that's because of these abuses of civil rights. So number one, they break up families. Number two, they stop free speech. In their creed of a Scientologist, it says, man has the inalienable right to free speech and free thought. If that were true, probably most of us would still be in the Church of Scientology, but it isn't true. The truth is, you are allowed to have free speech and free thought as long as you remain in the Scientology Truman Show. If you haven't seen the movie The Truman Show, watch it, because it's very similar to what goes on in Scientology. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Truman was born into this set. It was a movie set, and he was born into it. And people around the world, just like us, are talking about Scientology, same with Truman, but he didn't know it. He was the only one who didn't know it. And that's what happened. That's what happened to me. I was in the show. I was positive. That's not true. There's nothing outside the show. That's it. First of all, you don't know it's a show. So it's like, no, these guys saying all that stuff, they're just brainwashed. They're from the internet. They're liars. Believe me, I was there. I understand. You really, really think it's true. But it's not. The truth is they do have facts that are completely important facts that anybody that's in the Church of Scientology should know about. But because they stopped free speech, you really can't without getting declared. Well, now with the internet, you can, because they can't find you. Now you can say, well, you have to go to sec checks, which is a thing they do where they find out if you've done any bad deeds. And in the old days, that's how they'd found people that weren't talking to suppressive people, because they'd say, well, yeah, I went over and talked to Joe Schmo, and he's declared, and then they'd get in trouble, and But now with the internet, it's a little bit different. I don't think they quite have the control on people that they used to have. They do on the old timers because it's built into their heads. Excuse me. But for many of the young people, not at all. No way. So you've got breaking up families, stopping free speech. Their third major violation is fair game, where L. Ron Hubbard said in writing, you can lie, cheat, steal, destroy them utterly. 11 of the Sea Org members went to prison over doing fair game to the government of the United States of America. They were caught, and what did L. Ron Hubbard do? Not me! Throw my wife in jail. She's the one who ran the thing. You can Google the Guardian's office and read about it and find out. I mean, that's pathetic. It really is. But anyway, there you go. That's fair game. And they do it. And on the bottom they did cancel the usage of the term fair game. But they still do it by their practice. I only realized it when they canceled my van going to the airport. The plane was canceled. The vice president of the Church of Scientology came up to me in 2000 and said, we know where you're going and you're not going there. And Stacy had said, she was in Florida, and she said, bring a phone. And back then, like now everybody has a phone, but back then we had little emergency phones in case your car broke down out in the middle of nowhere. That was it. And I said, oh, Stacy, they don't do that kind of stuff. She said, Tory, we used to run these programs. We know exactly what we're talking about. Bring that phone. So I did, and now when I got there and the vice president walks up to me, I get out my flip phone and I go, Stacy, the vice president of the Church of Scientology is here. And she goes, hang on. She put on Jesse, and Jesse walked me through it. And the rest of it, I've put the entire waking up and escape story. You can type in Tory Magoo 44 + escape. And it's a 10-part series I did at my 10th anniversary of being out, of how did I wake up, how did I escape? Because so many people want to know what happened. And it's a whole 10-part series. It's not long. It's only about 5-10 minutes for each one, but they're good. It's a really good series. Anyway, so there's the third abuse, which is fair game. The fourth abuse is they rope in people. My biggest upset is young people. Excuse me. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. They rope in young kids. You sign a billion-year contract, which I did when I was very young. But you kind of think, wow, billion-year contract. I've never seen a billion-year contract. They surround you with people that are saying, don't worry about it. Just sign here, sign on the dotted line. Don't ever, this is my top message, don't ever sign anything if you're in the Church of Scientology, ever, until you Google it on the internet and find out all the facts about it. Because they're very tricky, the fine print is very, very tiny, and it's awful. Okay, so they rope in, especially young kids, to billion-year contracts. And now they can't get out. They say, oh, you can leave anytime you want. No, that's not true. It just isn't. It is not. There's hundreds of people on the internet talking about how they chased them. They chased me. I'm a public. I wasn't even in the Sea Org. And they chased me all the way across the country. The Tampa police got me out of the Tampa airport. True story, fact. You can see it. Unbelievable. So that's what they do. You can't leave anytime, and that's why people stay. But you don't have to stay. You can leave anytime. You really can leave anytime. That's the fact. they won't let you, and they make you feel like you have to stay, and if you do, your eternity is ruined, which nothing could be farther from the truth. Your eternity is ruined as long as you're in the Truman Show. As long as you're in the Scientology Truman Show, you can count on your eternity. Think of L. Ron Hubbard. Did he stay in the Truman Show? No, he took off. His policy used to be the way out is the way through. The truth is, his policy was the way out's the nearest door. He was out. And he didn't come back. He said he was going to come back. He had to build a house for when he was going to come back. And no, he didn't come back. Big surprise. All right, so the last abuse for civil rights that I'm going to talk about is medical abuse. It's really a medical abuse, but I consider it also civil rights because they did it to me. And it was really, really gross because they make it's part of their mind control trip, which is also kind of a violation of civil rights because they make you feel like that's it. You have to do it. If my mother hadn't jumped in and realized I was having grand mal seizures because they'd taken me off my medicine. And I was telling, oh, Dianetics will fix it and these vitamins. And she was like, no, you don't have a psychosomatic illness, Tory. It's a physical illness. You need medicine for it. And anyway, long story short, she said, either you're on your medication today or I'm flying out there. And believe me, they will never forget your mother. And I knew my mom, she could kick ass. And I thought, okay, that's it. Plus, who wants to have grand mal seizures anyway? So I went back on my medication. But I still ended up fighting him for 30 years. And it's one of the key reasons I speak out. That and they hurting. There's a ton of kids who've committed suicide. Do not, let me make this statement. Do not, no matter how shitty you feel, don't take your life. Don't. Because first of all, you're not that shitty. You'll be better. If you need to call a friend, call a friend. If you don't feel like you have any friends, there are people out there that'll help you. Move on. Press on. Keep on going. Okay? I mean that from the top and the bottom of my heart. I know 14, 5, 10, 15, well, -1, 14 young Scientologists between the ages of 18 and 23, 24, who've taken their own lives. They're dead. They're gone. They can't come back. I mean, I can't say they can't come back, but I mean, they're not going to be who you think they are. Their parents, huge losses. Their families, huge losses. Their friends, huge losses. Don't take your life. It's not a good solution. And I believe in karma. I do. And I don't think it's a good karmic thing to just say, okay, I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm sick of this place. Everybody's sick of this place. Welcome to planet Earth. Just try spin around. It's like a dance. Find a different step. You know what I mean? Find a different partner. Go a different way. Walk a different way. Walk out in the nature. Say hello to some roses. Go hug a tree. You know what I mean? There's a million beautiful things besides ever talking to another person again that could keep you alive. So don't take your life. There you go. And to all of you that have been part of my YouTube site, I thank you from the top and the bottom of my heart. I really do. I really mean it. I love you. And thank you. And this weekend is the anonymous 10th anniversary picket. It's going to be Hollywood and Highland, 11 o'clock to who knows when. But come on down. Everybody's invited. So come on down. Bye-bye.